Hello, welcome to Waypoint Survival. Today, I want to show you how to add the perfect frame to the Royale Bushcraft Pack. Stay tuned. I really like the Frost River Royale Junior Bushcraft Pack. It's a really great rucksack and it's about the perfect size. But the problem that I had with it when I got it, and I didn't purchase it new, I actually traded for it, and a little bit of money and a knife that I had, and I got a really good deal on it. But it's a fantastic pack. Of course, it's waxed canvas. It's got the leather straps, and it's just super awesome. They're very soft and comfortable, and I really like it a lot, as I said before. However, when you're doing longer trips, especially if you're going to be carrying any significant amount of weight, you want to have a frame. Frames allow you to more evenly distribute the weight, carry a heavier load, longer distances with less discomfort. So I like the pack, and I really wanted to go on a longer trip with it, and I actually messed around with it for quite a while, trying to figure out what was the best way to add a frame to it. And so I came up with this idea that I want to share with you. And I actually carried this pack on the video where we did the Deep Woods Bushcraft up in Michigan, and I could put a link to it right up here. And for those of you who watched that video, thank you very much. And I also had some questions about whether or not the fire was actually out at the end of the video, because when we're saying the goodbyes and walking away from camp, a gust of wind picks up and one of the logs has a little flame and some smoke. But yes, we went back later and the fire was completely out, so just so you know that. But anyway, great pack, and for that trip I was packed pretty heavy. I had a lot of tools, a medium-sized axe, and a bunch of other stuff that we were using for bushcrafting and making projects. So it was a little heavier perhaps than necessary. Queen-size wool blanket and all of that. I think I weighed about 55 pounds on that trip, so pretty good weight. But with the frame, this pack carried it extremely well. And so I want to share that with you because I think there might be some of you out there that will be interested in doing this to your backpack or a similar pack. And so, all right, let's get to it. As I was looking over this backpack, I noticed that there were quite a few different attachment points heavily riveted on. And of course, it has the option here for a waist belt. I just thought that was really cool. I did add some leather straps for my wool blanket, and carrying my axe stuffed in the wool blanket in the bottom of that. But I thought, you know, this pack lends itself to some sort of a frame. And of course, if you don't have a frame, you get this, you know, very sloppy feel for, which is of course a rucksack. I also added a Frost River orange panel. It's a zippered pouch, but it's two-sided. You can flip it around. The other side is just a tan color that matches this tannish green of their waxed canvas. But of course, this is great for hunting when you're out, or if you are in an area where people are hunting, which we were on our bushcraft trip. So I wanted to put this with the reflective or the orange colored panel on the outside. All right, so great pack and really nice. Holds quite a bit of gear, and you can look this up, of course, on the Frost River website. A few years ago, a friend of mine gave me this frame, and he said, I don't really know what it's for, but he said, I think it's an Alice pack frame. And I said, oh yeah, I'll take it, thank you so much. And I put it in a tote and have had it for a few years. So when I was looking for frames, I dug this out and started looking at it. And it's really unique to the effect that it has these kind of ears on the side. And it's curved. You can see the curve for your back. It also has this webbing that runs across this way, and buckles taped here for adjustment. But it has these vertical straps also, so it forms a really nice kind of a webbing against your back, as well as this center piece here is very well curved, so it just fits right into your back quite well. I also found that you could still get the shelf for this, and I just merely zip tied it on here. As you can see, a couple of different spots, 2 on each side and 2 on the bottom. When I first started looking at the pack, I noticed that it had these riveted onto this area. There are 4 of them, and they go on just like this, and of course across like so. And so there's 4 of these, and I knew that the way I wanted to fit it on the backpack, that these would hinder me putting the deerskin straps over the top, and it would tear them up. So I just took a drill and I drilled out the holes, and then took a file and smoothed everything off. I'm keeping these because if I ever want to restore it to its original condition, all I have to do is pop rivet these back onto their respective holes. Next, I have some military grade duct tape, and this is marketed as 200-mile-an-hour tape. And what I do is I tape across this 2 or 3 layers to add an extra padding and protection for the deerskin straps that will be going over the top of that. I'll get that done and I'll get back with you. Alright, so I got that all protected now, and that should be fine. Of course, I went ahead, as I already showed you before, I had these taped, and then I put some more tape around this section because there are still, as you can see, these riveted sections here, and this is the portion that will be against the backpack, so I didn't want anything that could possibly rub against the wax canvas. So that's what it looks like, all taped up and ready to mount the backpack. So to put this frame on the backpack, I knew I wanted it to set like this because I wanted the frame to be supportive of everything. So I wanted this, of course, at the bottom, and my back would fit into the curve of this, and I needed to figure some way for this to come over top so that it would ride properly. One of the things that I've had in my possession for several years that I collected are these leather straps. These are Swedish military straps, and I bought a pack of them several years ago, and they're really great leather and just really great for attaching anything you really want. But actually goes with the Swedish military mountain rucksack, and like I said, I've had these for quite a while. But I got to thinking this would be the perfect thing to use to strap my backpack onto the frame. So I measured the right length, and I cut 2 of them down and punched some additional holes in each one because the holes didn't travel back quite that far. Then, looking at this riveted portion right here on the rucksack between these 2 rivets, I discovered that this would fit perfectly, and I used a screwdriver to open that up, but I could put that in there and fasten it down. So it just fits absolutely perfectly. Right width and dimensions. Of course, you could use other things. You could lash this down with paracord or whatever. Alright, so the next thing I wanted to do is I had to figure out how to attach it physically onto the pack. Of course, that's not a big deal. You slide these straps over a little bit, and we bring it around the frame. So we go around here just like this, pull this through, and then run the buckle just like so. Get it nice and tight, and you want to make sure that this doesn't wobble around on you. Just like that. Alright, and now we have the top of it nice and secured. We do that to both sides, and that's what it looks like. Next, we have to fasten the bottom part, because obviously we can't have this flopping around while we're out bushcrafting and carrying, and we don't want all the weight resting up at the top. So using 2 more of my straps, I trimmed one down pretty significantly till there's only about 5 holes left on the punch, and left the other one basically full length. And then I buckled them together, so I have a double length. Going through this section here, which is the area for the waist pack, and then coming around, we can buckle this together. Just like this, till it's nice and tight. And then because we don't want this buckle riding in the middle of our back, we just want the leather strap, we take and we rotate this on around just like this. And it's a little bit of work, but it can be done. Just use your fingers and roll that on around until we get the buckle back around to the back side, and now we have just a nice flat strap, which is going to help support against the back and keep us from sweating, etc. All right, now we have a nice fastened on pack, but we have another problem. We still need a waist belt for this, and because we've used this, we now no longer have access to this where it's located on the backpack. I went to the Frost River website and ordered the waist belt that is made for this pack because I didn't come with it. And again, a great belt, all leather and brass hardware and cotton canvas. Just a really, really neat belt. And the way that this is designed with these ears that stick out, this is absolutely perfectly suited to fit this waist belt. What you do, using this section here, you go through it like this, and then back around. Just like this. And we do the same thing to the other side. Come back here, and back around. And there we have our waist belt, and it just fits like it was made for it. Very sturdy, very strong, holds everything well. We have the additional shelf down here at the bottom. And what I did with my straps is I went ahead and looped my straps down through the bottom of the shelf here, and that just gives me added stability for the bottom of the pack, so I can strap my blanket, whatever I want, in this space right in here. Gives me plenty of room and a lot of options. Putting it on is easy enough. Go over top like you would a normal backpack, and of course fastening everything together. Alright, just like that. It makes it much more rigid. It carries extremely well. And the way that these go over top of the bar, it doesn't hurt them at all. You still got access to your handle here to pick it up. And this is a little farther away vantage point where you can see what it looks like when it's on with the waist belt, sternum strap attached, and everything fastened together like it should. If you like the Frost River Isle Royale Junior Bushcraft Pack as much as I do, you're going to love this hack. This is a tremendous way to add a very sturdy, pretty lightweight frame to your backpack. Now, for those of you who are interested in what this frame is, and I wrote it down here for you, the frame is called a Rucksack Universal C1 or C2 Canadian Army. It can sometimes also be found under the USGI Lightweight Rucksack. So USGI Lightweight Rucksack. That's for those of you who want to buy one of these and use it for yourself. This is James Bender for Waypoint Survival. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also make sure and check out the links in the description box below. And while you're down there, make sure and check out the merchandise shelf, which is located just below the description box. There, you can find our Teespring link, which is where you can purchase great Waypoint Survival merchandise, which goes to help support the ongoing research that we do to bring you great video content. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. And when you do subscribe, make sure and press that bell button so that you can stay notified of all of our upcoming videos, and we'll talk to you next time.